the old family furniture and the Christmas tree. Why Nellie hung onto this old table, I'll never understand.
Is someone here?
Go back to sleep, Uncle Charlie. We can work around you.
Hey, not bad. But don't all new homes come with a wet bar in the basement?
Not if you have an Uncle Charlie living in one. Yeah, we bring 4 chairs over here.
I've been coming to Thanksgiving for a while now, and I don't think I've ever seen Uncle Charlie sober.
We're all fighting some kind of battle.
I know about that. One less person in your life changes everything.
Uncle Charlie just has not found the will to move on.
Let go of my arm. Use the handrail. I'm trying to get down the stairs in one piece.
Now I could have carried that tray. Oh, this table is so ow.
Oh, Melody!
No worries, just a bump in the road and you know, you need to have that husband of yours measure that last stair. I'm sure it's not up to code. Sue the builders. My brother Randall is a pit bull. I have a brother and a pit bull in the courtroom, and he'll get the contractor to fix it.
The bar is open.
I'll take it though.
Sorry, old boy. Management told me not to serve you. Gabby, honey, bar's always open.
For those that choose to ignore the words of last call.
Gabby's sitting in for Marty this year.
Yeah, I thought I'd see what you ladies are up to. No good is what that stepdad of yours would say about us.
I am surprised you even gathered. What do you expect? You barely talk to each other.
Marty didn't even come for dinner this year. What's his problem?
Melody, he probably doesn't want to see you because you unfriended him on Facebook. And he doesn't talk to me anymore because I wrote Republican.
Some of us prefer privacy.
You can unfriend me, but you can't hide from my social media minions. Don't you want to know where the family skeletons are buried, Professor Nico?
My skeletons are buried. They were incinerated into dust by hatred.
Oh, I get a nerve. Sorry, sister-in-law. I forget. You're far more sensitive than that brother of mine.
Melody, you're not sorry. You like poking at wounds.
And the river where my hurts live run deep.
That is enough, you two. Let's try to be on our best behavior for Gabby. I'm hoping to keep her interested in coming back again next year. Okay, everyone take one tile and see who goes first. The letter D.
R.
Oh.
W.
Okay, the D is the closest to the beginning of the alphabet, so I will go first, and then play goes counterclockwise from me. I'll keep tally, everyone.
A word must be way not counted.
Gabby, you're next.
So, how did this game become an annual event?
5 years ago, when my youngest boy joined all the other men for deer hunting season, it was rather quiet around here after dinner without our husbands and sons, so we decided to start a game of Scrabble.
Yeah, Marty's story never were blaze orange, so he used to play with us. Yeah, we used to play board games around the holidays as kids. This very table. Oh, Aunt says it goes back, what, 2 generations?
Only 2 generations?
Should have gone to Gibbwell years ago.
Not my circus. Not my monkeys.
Oh, and when one person plays all 7 tiles in one turn, in addition to the score for that word, you're awarded 50 points. And when one person plays all of their tiles, and there's no more tiles available to draw, the game's over.
Or when the gin runs out. I'm glad Marty isn't here. He's such a soul.
Kevin, what happened to Marty this year?
Guess that might be what happened to him.
I didn't ask you, Melody.
But she's right. He spends more time with her family now. He sold the house and moved into a new condo with her new wife.
And we used to think we had the perfect family.
Gabby, what did your mom do with that sculpture in the front garden?
I don't know.
It looked like a winged angel descending on the rose bushes.
I bet after your mom, that sculpture was next thing that Marty put on the curb.
Same thing happened in Poland. Remove the people, remove the art, and rewrite history.
Yeah. One of the toughest things about being a kid with step parents is never feeling like I have a home. I've been on my own for a while now, so it's nice to be invited for a free meal.
Ladies, that brings me to this year's main word, family.
Ivy. We let Ivy choose the main word of the word, and then we play words associated with each word, with that word.
Family, the basic unit of society.
There's no right or wrong answer, Gabby.
Yeah, don't worry about winning. Unless you're Ivy.
First word, love.
Love. Oh, original.
Big word, but only 7 points, Ivy?
Double word score, 14 points.
Through bravery, you may win the war. And through bravery, you may lose.
Winston Churchill.
Carol King.
Polish proverb.
I think this is the only time I see any of you down.
Holidays.
28 points. The game is afoot.
Sherlock Holmes.
Shakespeare said it first. Henry IV.
I've got a word that brings us all together eventually. Funerals. Funerals. 13 points and a 50-word bonus. I just might be able to beat all of you this year.
Not so fast, Melody. Children. 18 points and the 50-point bonus one.
I was wondering when you'd get to them, Ivy. Every year you manage to put children and dogs on the board no matter what's the first word.
I know this word might seem odd considering my parentless upbringing. Hope. It's only 18 points, but it's all we have sometimes.
That's true enough.
Pass.
Can't have your tongue makeup? P-A-I-N. Pain.
Is that all you're going to put down here? It's only 8 points, Melody.
I'm saving these letters for a big finish.
And I saw a river over which the souls must pass to reach the kingdom of heaven. And the name of that river was suffering.
And then I saw a river, then I saw a boat, which carries souls across the river. And the name of that boat is love. St. John of the Cross.
Correct.
Gabby, what are you studying in college?
Started with English literature, then switched to journalism. Now I'm thinking philosophy.
Do they even teach that anymore?
The unexamined life is not worth living.
Socrates.
Oh, Gabby, don't encourage her. We'll never hear the end of it.
Faith. 19 points.
Let's take a lifetime to say, I know you well, and only time will tell us so, and love may grow for all we know.
Faith. A firm belief in something for which there is no proof.
Kindergartner.
Merriam-Webster.
You'll appreciate this one,
14 points.
The best days we had were when we all sat around the kitchen table together.
Minka, you haven't even placed any tiles on the board. You'll never catch up to me playing like that. Okay, 13 points, 15 with bonus. N-E. R-I-E-S. Memories. That is what binds a family.
And you certainly remind us of that constantly.
Some of us like to hang on to the past.
Not to mention, I have kept the old family home like a museum.
Some of us like to hang on to the past.
We need history to understand ourselves.
Looking backwards is never a good idea.
Life can only be understood backwards.
But must be lived forward. Character.
I like to think Streisand had it right. Memories like the corners of my mind. Misty watercolor memories of the way we were. Oh, that used to be one of my biggest hits with the band, along with some of those Judy Collins numbers.
Melody, you need to stop dwelling in the past.
Do you ever wonder why some people get to have all their dreams come true? Do you ever feel the emptiness, of that in your life?
Purpose. The human soul needs purpose. It's not happiness we seek, but purpose.
Memories may be beautiful, and yet what's too painful to remember, we simply choose to forget.
Gabby, would you get a pot of coffee and bring it down here before Melody has a meltdown and she ends up on the sofa with Uncle Charlie?
Uncle Charlie. Let's talk about Uncle Charlie. He sat at his son's bedside at the VA for 2 weeks. And as his son took his last breath, he was surrounded by more doctors and nurses than family. Do you have any idea the emptiness you feel in that final moment?
And the 100 people around you cannot console you for the loss of the one.
Can't you say anything that isn't somebody else's words? Pain. It's a black hole that you try to fill with anything you can.
Melody, the only way through life is forward. I left home when I was 18 and I never looked back. I know you're still bitter at me for not helping you with Mom these past few years. I have my own family. And I never felt responsible for Mom. I offered to hire someone to help you, but Mom didn't want strangers in her house.
No, she wanted family. The last witnesses of her love. Well, she wanted you. She wanted Marty. She wanted Randall. And the only one left at her bedside was me. These are all just words on the board.
Unless you have the will to act on them. Look, I don't know the right words to say to either of you, but I do understand the brokenness of loss. I was a child when my life, my childhood was taken from me, and I came to this country clutching a single book and a prayer in my heart to never forget. Yet, as the years go by, it seems like a dream, as if the family I once loved never existed. Do you know why I'm here? It's not because I love Scrabble so much. I'm here because one day we'll all be asked to sit at another table, to sort out the words that define our lives. And we'll be measured by the words we said and didn't say. Words count for so much more than points, yet we throw them around carelessly without a owning them? Do we speak with love? Do we have hope? I can blindly play the game with a limited vision of what words I get, and we don't know what's to come. We can rearrange our letters hoping to win or trade for better. But in the end, it's the unkind words that we have to face. And the beautiful ones. And I have to accept them as mine, as the pieces of my life. I think that's why I'm here. I want to know I belong to a family. And I need you to help me find the right words to say that will bind us as family.
Here's the Joe, everybody. Not quite hot, but black and strong. On Ivy, I brought your phone down. You left it in the kitchen. Been ringing nonstop. Aunt Nellie didn't know what buttons to push. Ivy, what's wrong?
An accident. Just an accident. My son Stephen is in surgery with a gunshot wound. I need to leave.
Ivy, let me drive you to the hospital.
Then Ivy, I'll call the rest of the family and we'll be there as soon as we can.
Faith, hope, and love.
Is someone here?
It's Gabby, Uncle Charlie. Actually, my name is Gabriella. You might not know me, but we're family. It's kind of hard to explain it. I don't know where to start.
Look at
Kool-Aid was forbidden. About that, there can be no doubt. This must be completely understood, for the peril in the story about to hear truly hit home. So the risk our young hero puts himself in carries the true weight of the consequence of his courage, as he devises a cunning plan to thwart his mother's law and attempts to get the Kool-Aid. Also, it must be said that this is not a story conjured up from thin air, designed to amuse and entertain. This tale is also a memory, my memory. This tale is a tale of ingenuity, dedication, risk, fear, hope, and dare I say, love. Some of the older or more health food conscious of you may well root against our hero and vote his mother, my mother. Her Kool-Aid ban had been the bane of my taste buds' existence for the first 10 years of my life. It was an umbrella ban that went beyond just Kool-Aid and covered every food and drink with even a hint of taste, and it had to stop. And it was about to, or at least, I was about to try. It would start with Kool-Aid. It was the summer of 1982, the summer I proved that anyone, in the face of insurmountable odds, can conquer their fears and follow their dreams and hopes. That when left to our own devices, we can accomplish what seemed impossible. That when left to our own devices, we can accomplish what seemed impossible. That's not what I meant by own devices. We're in the middle of a...
What did you mean?
What?
What did you mean by own devices?
What did I mean? I mean, this is supposed to be 1982. Our memory of 1982. You didn't have those things yet. We didn't have these yet.
Why are you standing over there?
I'm not supposed to be in here. That's not how this works. We're supposed to be telling them, we're not supposed to be here at the same time. I'm supposed to be narrating my memory of being you, me, us. I'm not in here talking to myself.
But we were here at the same time. It's just that you were me then. I wasn't yet you.
Where did you get those? They hadn't even been invented yet. This cottage shared a phone line with 3 of the 4 of the cottages on the same street. It didn't even have a normal landline phone yet.
What? The cottage finally has its own non-shared phone line now? Now for you? One dedicated phone line. Like our house in town has?
Yeah, well, something like that. And now we have these, well, each of us has a... Here, give me that. Where did you find them?
Well, they're just here, on the table.
I don't think these are props. They probably belong to someone who works here. Anyway, these are what we have now. These are phones, among other things.
They sure look different. Really small. No dial field. No long cord. Not my breed. Battery?
Yep.
So what are these little phones for a house? Nice.
Yeah, well, it's one phone, it's not one phone per house, it's one phone per person per house.
One each per person. Per house?
Yeah.
Even kids. Like, I'm 10. I have one. My own phone?
Yeah, you probably would. And we don't really call them phones, we call them devices.
Devices.
Yeah. That's why I said that's not what I meant by own devices. Because to us in 1982, devices mean something completely different than they do now.
Okay, well, what does it mean now? Why does everybody need their own phone? Or device? That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't look stupid. Having your own baseball glove, bicycle, lunchbox, library card. Those are things I don't know of. But a phone?
Well, because, we need to know, what if we...
So everybody in the house could be talking to somebody else. Who's not in the house?
Yeah.
And the people they're talking to are also not talking to anybody in their own house? Isn't it incredibly loud with all the talking at once? How can anybody hear anything? Or understand anything?
Well, we don't actually talk to each other that much on them anymore. Well, not out loud anyway.
What? How does that work? Like telepathy? Do these devices transfer our thoughts without talking?
Well, actually, yeah, that's exactly what they do.
That's awesome! And we can read minds with them? You know, telepathy?
Well, not exactly. Look, you should know about this stuff yet. We, and by we, I mean you and I, us, all of us, shouldn't have known about this stuff ever. I don't think any of us were supposed to have taken these devices and used them to replace our own devices. You were free of all this back then, but here, our minds had space. Your mind still has space. Just how you were able to come up with your amazing plan to get the forbidden Kool-Aid. Because you were truly left to your own devices.
What did I do?
What's the story we're supposed to be telling? I don't think I've done it yet. I think I was just about to.
What did we always want out of that refrigerator? What joy did our mother forbid us from partaking in? That our cousins consume like oxygen on a daily basis and flock it in our face? On punishment of hours sitting in the outhouse? What taste sensations on the other side of that door? In a clear jug, shimmering with sugary purple goodness. What?
Kool-Aid! Aunt Anne's Kool-Aid!
Yes, Kool-Aid. Now let's do this properly and tell them this story.
Okay.
His story, takes place many years ago in a small lake cottage built in the 20s.
That's the 1920s.
Yes, the 1920s. Now, back in 1982, when I was him, this cottage was home to two families. And now follow along with me. That's one house with two families. That's two sets of parents with two sets of kids and 3 kids apiece, totaling 6 kids. Add the parents, and that's
10 people!
yes, 10 people. 10 people in one house with one refrigerator. Our parents. Me, we, my brother and sister.
Our brother and sister.
Yes, our brother and sister. Also, our aunt and uncle and their 3 kids, which would be our cousins. Now, behind that door lay the most tempting and decadent drink ever to cross a child's lips. A purple, sugary.
Hey, slow down. You should go back to your little narrator spot, and we can do this the right way. We got totally distracted by these devices.
Yeah, that happens. Okay, we'll take it where we got distracted. That when left to our own devices, we can accomplish what seemed impossible.
I've had enough of this healthy food. Sugar for everything. Taste for everything. Asparagus for a snack. Grape nuts. Carrot juice. 12 nut oat bread. Meanwhile, I'm surrounded by my cousin's food. Pudding. Smucker's jelly. Ice cream. Wonder bread. Sugar cereals. And Kool-Aid. I could do it. I could take some. Right here, right now. And Anne wouldn't even care. But she would. And she would know. Mom would know. No more Mom. I have also already devised a plan. A cunning plan. And I will have Kool-Aid.
As you can see, I was determined, and I had to be. At the time, I was sure I was the only child that had been deprived of savory and sugary snacks. I stood there between the 2 opposing jugs, and slowly and methodically developed my plan. First, I would have to... You've got to be kidding me. What is happening? Hi, what's up? I'm right in the middle of something. No, I'm not telling anyone that story. How could you possibly know that? I'm in the middle of a... No, Mom, you cannot talk to him. Because you are talking to him. He's me. I'm him. My gosh. Neither of you knows how this works.
What did I do?
Why do I keep telling the story? Because it's true. That's why. No, I don't think it makes you look bad. Well, no. A dramatic license? What? I know. You're just trying to make sure we grew up healthy. And I was just trying to get a drink of something that didn't have keratin in it. I do not exaggerate the story. I do not. Look, I have to go. Because I have to finish. No, Mom. I'm not going to give him the phone.
I thought it was advice.
It is a device. No, Mom, I was talking to... What do you mean? No, you can't come here.
She's coming here?
She's not coming here. Mom, you don't even know where we are. She knows where we are. Okay, bye, Mom, I gotta go. No, I gotta go. Yes, bye. Look, you gotta get out of here. I'll take the heat. This is Mom for my time, and she has the device too, and she'll be calling me back any minute.
Okay. I can't imagine Mom, for my time, having a device like that. That's super scary. The access, and she already knew everything. Even without advice.
Yeah, well back then, she too was left to her own devices. No distractions from life, no distractions from what she wanted to do, which was to make sure we had the healthiest and worst tasting diet possible. And we had no distractions from what we wanted to do, which was to get that Kool-Aid.
Yeah, well, we've all been collectively distracted from that story.
Yeah, that happens. But take care, kid, for both our sakes.
Hey, I got the Kool-Aid, right? Our cunning plan. It worked, right?
Well, let's just say if you did, you paid a hefty price for it. But not as big a price as we will all eventually pay.
Miss Schaefer, please hold any calls, just in the gardens if they arrive. Oh, yes. Well, hello. I like to begin by having the client couple tell me in their own words why they have come. Alan, why don't you begin?
I don't know why we've come here. I thought everything was going as well as could be given the circumstances. I've only come here as a favor to Tina. It seemed important to her. I try to be a good husband, a great husband, which I feel I have accomplished if I do say so.
Why don't you hold that thought for just a minute? Now, tell me how you see it, Tina. Alan is a good husband. I never said he wasn't, but lately there's just been something missing.
I own my own business. I'm no longer able to go into the office. I'm fortunate that I've been able to work from home. I'm lucky in that. I have a job to go to. My wife, however, has not been so lucky. She's been stuck at home this whole time. The lines between work time and leisure time have begun to blur. It's been stressful for both of us.
Alan inherited a mail order seed company from his parents, John and Alan Sr. Ah, well, if I understand what's happening here, it's fairly common. It happens quite often, frankly. It's in the bedroom, right? I suggest you make an attempt to return to your courtship rituals. Set aside one night a week as sort of a date night.
That's not it. It's not. Is it?
That's not it. He's just been, I don't know, distant.
My workload hasn't changed. I've been working 9 to 10 hours a day. Besides, I haven't even left the house in these past 10 months.
Not physically distant. So emotionally, he's squandering his energies elsewhere.
I'm a good husband and a provider. I'm trying to maintain the lifestyle that we have become accustomed to. Which, if I do say
Maybe
so...
distant isn't the right word. Distracted. He's distracted, like he's being influenced. And would you say these influences are typically negative? Negative? Yes, definitely. And it's hard to admit, but I know I'm to blame, at least partially anyway.
I thought we were talking about me here.
Generally, a person can be influenced by another person, an inanimate object, or an event. I wish it was a person I could deal with, reason with, but it's a thing. It's cold and emotionless and relentless.
Ah. Now I know we're not talking about me. I am none of those.
you mentioned you feel partially to blame. In what way?
I introduced him to it. I was the one that brought it into our home in the first place, to my everlasting regret.
Well, if I understand what's happening here, marriage grows routine. People begin to pursue their own interests, their own agendas. One partner may feel taken for granted or neglected.
I just wanted something that was fun. Is there anything wrong with that? To want a little more? I didn't think every once in a while could possibly hurt. Every once in a while turned into all day, every day. In the living room, the bedroom, the kitchen. Sometimes he'll just sit and stare into the void for hours like a zombie.
Like I said, the lines between work time and leisure time have begun to blur these past few months. I didn't realize it was taking up so much of my time, and using it like a crutch. I didn't then, and I still don't.
It's very common. Substance abuse can be a cruel and uncompromising master.
What? No, who said anything about a substance? It's the cable. It's TV land. Plain and simple, too much TV land.
I could get rid of any one of my TVs. I could get rid of them all, anytime I felt like it.
Anyone? Just how many televisions do you have?
Well, let's see. Right now, only 5. The living room, bedroom, the kitchen, the man cave.
Alan, it's a garage. Just call it the garage.
And the bathroom.
That's what really did it, when he got one for the bathroom.
I didn't want to miss the post-game pregame show.
We were taking a shower.
I had the volume turned up.
It was Carthage College playing Cardinal Stritch
It was the tiebreaker.
to see who would finish last in the conference.
So the issue is television. Might I suggest a trial separation? Nothing drastic, say a 2-week period.
Man, that's going to be rough. I'm really going to miss you, dear.
Do you really think that's necessary? It seems kind of extreme.
And it'll be hard on me, too. But it's what the doctor thinks it's the best. It's for the best. After all, she is an expert.
I meant for Alan and the television.
Have you lost your mind? No TV for 2 weeks? What if I miss something important?
Tina, you mentioned influences. Can you elaborate?
Sure. Alan, if I was on a tropical island for 2 years, would you have cleaned the bathroom?
Is this a trick question? Is this about chores? Don't I clean out the refrigerator on a regular basis?
Cleaning out the fridge and cleaning the fridge aren't the same thing.
I'm not following. Wait a minute. You want separate vacations. Is this about me not balancing the checkbook? It is, isn't it?
Is that it?
That's not it. Now, watch this. Alan, if I was in Hawaii and went on a 3-hour tour,
3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour!
and the weather started getting rough, and the tiny ship was tossed, and if not for the courage of the fearless crew, all would be lost. But the ship's aground on the shore of an uncharted desert isle for 3 seasons. Then, somehow, the smart one, despite the actions of the hapless and inept first mate, manages to fashion something out of the coconut shells and jellyfish and flotsam and jetsam that inevitably winds up on the island, more regularly than the current U.S. mail, I might add. And I was able to get home to you, even after the show was already in syndication. Would you have cleaned the bathroom?
Well, you're kidding, right? Of course. If it needed it.
Well, we seem to have made a breakthrough. Of sorts.
He lets the television have too much influence on his thinking.
I do not! Well, that is, of course, unless they're experts in the field. For example, Mr. Howell, financial genius, the most geniusy genius ever, should have been CEO of the World Bank or the Space Station Bank. That is, as soon as they get to Space Force. You see, the astronauts and cosmonauts are going to have to do their banking somehow. Mary Ann Summers, terrific baker. Best banana cream pies on earth. Could have been the winner of the Great British Bake Off or any of the Great British Bake Offs of any number of countries.
I'm going to intervene here. Can we say, for clarity's sake, you find it to be impressive?
Well, of course, they're experts.
Doctor, since we're on the subject of experts now, tell me what you think of this. If you could meet one person from the whole of human history, excluding absolutely no one, who would it be?
Let me remind you, Mrs. Gardner, that this isn't about me.
Just humor me this one time.
Oh, okay, I don't know. Let me think. There's so many. Isaac Newton.
The Patriots quarterback?
He's serious.
Thomas Jefferson, Martin Luther, Gandhi, or Nelson Mandela.
Alan's is someone who watches on TV.
Maybe Confucius, Plato, St. Augustine. Oh, of course, there's the Buddha. But the serene one, not that jolly one.
Take a guess.
Oh, okay, I'll say Rick Steves.
Ice cold. But that is a good show. I'll give you a hint. He's an expert in his field.
Okay, then, Dr. Oz.
Still cold.
Okay, then, Dr. Phil.
I'm putting my mittens on.
Can you get this in a minute? Dr. Fauci.
You and those vaccines are in the deep freeze. Remember, experts.
Okay, I can get this. I know I can. Dr. Henry Louis Gates Jr.
I should have brought my earmuffs. Wait, who is that again?
I'll give you a hint. It's not a doctor. Not any kind of doctor. Not Doc Severinsen, not Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman.
Not even Dr. McCoy or Dr. Crusher from Star Trek.
Not a doctor. That clearly widens the field. Give me one more guess.
This isn't 20 questions. The meter's running. Knock yourself out.
Oprah Winfrey!
I like her. She gives away free stuff. I like free. Nobody likes free more than I do. Why don't you use a lifeline? Ask your husband. Ask Natalie, your receptionist.
I've asked 100 people off the street, and I doubt if any of their answers would be anywhere near correct.
Doc, you just got warmer. You've nearly got it.
It's a little scary, but you have. It's Steve Harvey.
He's my man.
The stand-up comedian?
Oh, he's much more than a stand-up comedian. He's a cultural anthropologist, and psychologist, and sociologist, all in one.
Well, I'm sure he's a fine man, an asset to his community, a good husband, a great father to his children. That doesn't qualify him for a place on Mount Rushmore.
Hey, wow! Think about that for a second. A Mount Rushmore of game show hosts. And we could even get North Dakota to pay for it.
Mount Rushmore is in South Dakota.
Well, they'll have to figure that out for themselves. So let's see, there would be Steve, of course, Sajak, Chuck Barris, and
Alex Trebek.
and leave out Drew Carey?
At the risk of injecting my own opinion, I think Alex Trebek is more iconic than Drew Carey.
I always felt that Alec was a little bit too show-off in pronouncing the French words the way he does.
By that, I take it you mean correctly?
I always felt he spoke with a noticeable Canadian accent.
Doctor, I thought that maybe we could find some shows or movies to watch together. Like The Office or Curb Your Enthusiasm, even King of Queens, or never thought I'd hear myself say this, The Big Bang Theory or Young Sheldon.
We may have our differences, but the thing we need now more than anything is unity. When you put it all together, we all want the same thing. We're really all working towards the same cause.
Cause? What cause?
What cause? To expose the conspiracy.
Conspiracy? What conspiracy?
The vacation that was stolen from them.
He gets worked up if you even say stolen during the holidays.
Because it is a Christmas stolen, it's called that for a reason.
Can we stay on one subject for the rest of the session? For the time being, if possible?
Gotta admit, there were some irregularities.
Irregularities. Alright. One last time. Would you like to give me some examples?
Sure, the weather started getting rough. The tiny ship was tossed despite the fearless efforts of the courageous crew. And exactly how many minnows were lost?
The name of the ship was the SS Minnow. The Minnow was lost.
Alan, you seem agitated. Why don't you tell me, in your own words, just so I'm clear, why this affects you this way?
Two hard-working, decent guys are descended upon by a group of strangers. People they have never met before.
Which is generally accepted as the definition of strangers.
See, some of them are the salt of the earth type, like Mary Ann, the beautiful yet naive farm girl from Winfield, Kansas. And some of them are very, very fine people, like the ultra-wealthy, yet idle and clueless Howells.
Well, God forbid you forget Ginger Grant.
Ah, yes, thank you, dear. Ginger Grant, a card-carrying member of the Hollywood lipstick conspiracy type. Ginger Grant, a phony name if I ever heard of one.
Actors often take assumed names as per Screen Actors Guild regulations. You can't have two people with the same name in the directory. It's for clarity. That's why actors often use an middle initial.
You can believe that cover story if you'd like. I refuse to live that way.
Plus, she's a made-up character.
Based on a real person.
I have never heard anyone claim that any of the castaways were based on real people.
Well, they know how to create a good cover story, don't they?
What about your friend Mrs. Howell? Do you think her real name is Lovey? Do you think that might be short for something?
Laverne! Which brings me to the professor. What is his real name anyway?
Enough with the names. They're all made up.
How do we know he's really a professor? Why did he come on this cruise? Can he be trusted?
Of all the people marooned on the island, he is the only one working on projects to get them off the island on every single episode.
I remember one particularly humorous episode. The professor made a car from nothing but palm fronds and bamboo, which Gilligan pedaled from one end of the island to the other. Quite amusing.
That doesn't help that much.
I apologize.
I accept your apology.
My point is that none of the plans succeeded. The Eastern-educated Ivy League professor, or as I prefer to call him, the elitist egghead.
Alan, don't forget, you went to UPenn. You went to the Wharton School of Business.
Oh, we're never going to get anywhere with you bringing up facts and details. Besides, some of the most ignorant people who walked the face of the earth went there.
All right, I apologize, I guess.
I forgive you.
In this case, Alan, the correct response would be, I accept your apology, since Tina had no intention of causing any mischief or discomfort to you.
And what would people have to say for me to say I forgive them?
I'm sorry.
I forgive you.
I'm afraid what we have here is more complicated than you first thought or I was led to believe. With your permission.
Again, knock yourself out.
Alan, what if I told you that Gilligan, the skipper too, the millionaire and his wife, the movie star and the rest, have recently, more or less, been rescued?
I knew it! I knew it was only a matter of time. There was no way they were going to survive on banana cream pies creamed out of coconut shells.
Try and visualize them, all returning back home.
Well, I always figured that either Kirk or Spock would be Venus or one of the more uninhabited tropical islands like Santa Fe or San Antonio.
Perhaps we should save that for another session. Anything else? Your session is nearly over.
I admit that I have a problem. I understand that's the first step to healing, to becoming whole again. Doctor, for the sake of my marriage, how often would you clean the bathroom?